Hello dear ones, just a short video as the first entry in a new series I call My Way Into What's Yours. It's about how I discovered different genres and what made me tick. Today it's my way into metal. This was back in 1980 actually that I first discovered heavy metal. I didn't know that it was heavy metal at that point, and it might not be true heavy metal, but it was some kind of metal anyway. I was visiting a friend called Dines, whose big brother Johan just had gotten a new LP by a band that was strangely mysterious and intriguing to me. The record was called Unmasked, and it was a record with a cover consisting of a comic about some strange masked hero-looking musicians called Kiss that were followed by a desperate paparazzi who wanted to get a photo of them without their masks on. Dines and Johan told me that nobody knew how Kiss looked in reality, and I was really excited about this. Imagine to be an anonymous hero or superstar. I don't think I heard any of the music, but I was drawn into the imagery of Kiss, and I saw the solo albums from 1977, also or 78. Being told that they had really recorded a solo album, I didn't know what a solo album was, but I was still mesmerized by this phenomenon. Then in 1984 I started going to a new school, and I met a guy called Kenneth with whom I still hold as one of my dearest friends ever. He was a big Kiss fan, and at one point we went to a mutual friend's house. We didn't have a record player, but we had records without having any means of playing them. To make a cassette tape for me with the Paul Stanley solo album on one side and the Dynasty album on the other side. And I admitted to liking Kiss, but didn't really like the idea of being labeled as a heavy freak, because they were considered racist and analphabets and stupid and bigoted and Satanist by the general public. Then in 1985, Kenneth asked me he gave me 3 90-minute cassette tapes for me to record the songs from a long list of Iron Maiden songs he had made in a random order, so he could get the feeling of hearing them anew without knowing what song was coming next. I was recording these songs on my then new stereo, and I was really mesmerized by this guitar sound, the dual guitars and the voice of Bruce Dickinson and Paul Di'Anno, and I was very tempted to label myself a heavy freak at that point, but resisted, or so I thought, until the songs Flesh of the Blade from Power Slave was to be on the tape. It starts with a guitar that goes lead, and I was just sucked into the vortex of metal. I came out like I almost imagined it must be for a homosexual person or a gay person to come out of the closet. I proudly announced to everybody I'm a bit autistic in this kind of matters, that I was now a heavy freak. And then I started with Kenneth's kind guidance to delve into the world of metal. I actually forgot to say that prior to the Kiss tape and the Iron Maiden listening, I weirdly enough liked Destruction's Infernal Overkill quite a lot, even though it's much harder than the other stuff, and but it was so melodic, and I like that and admitted freely to it. But Maiden got me solidly sold to the notion of heavy metal. And then in 1986, I had read about a band called Metallica or something like that, who had made a record called Master of Puppets. And Kenneth had it, and I had read that it sounded a bit like Wishbone Ash. And I'd never heard Wishbone Ash, but I had a liking to the name, so I thought that this must be good, this must be good, this must be good. And I put it on, it was a picture disc, and I put it on my stereo, which didn't have the bass speakers big enough to convey the heaviness of Master of Puppets. So whenever it got really heavy, my speaker said "ooh," but out through the "ooh" sounds, I heard the beautiful heaviness of the Flemming Rasmussen produced the Master of Puppets album. I was totally sold. I started liking more and more heavy metal bands, and then in 1987, as you all know by now, because you've studied my videos religiously, I heard Napalm Death. The rest is history. But that was my way into heavy metal. What was yours? Give me a run through of your timeline in the comments, and have a nice evening. Over and out.